What's up, guys? He is the most controversial superstar in Jamaica, our very own Vybz Kartel. A new life came into the world on January 7, 1976. A baby boy, born to Jamaican parents, Teacha and Vivian Palmer. This child was named Teacha Azim Palmer. He was born at Kingston's Victoria Jubilee Hospital and was one of 6 children. Originally from Waterhouse, Kingston, he was raised in the Waterford district in the community of Portmore, Jamaica. Teacha attended Calabar High School in Kingston but was expelled as a teenager. Determined to continue his education, he completed his studies at a tutorial technical school. He was exposed to a wide variety of music from a tender age by 2 uncles who were themselves aspiring musicians. Even as a toddler, Hadi would be found humming or dancing to the reggae and dancehall tunes that filled the airways. It was as if the rhythms and melodies of Jamaican music flowed through his veins. On weekends, he was treated to new musical offerings on his uncle's old companion sets. Musics ranging from Sam Cooke to country and western ballads to Ninja Man, who became one of his musical heroes. At the age of 11, Teacha said that he decided he wanted to be a DJ and began writing his own lyrics. Eager to flaunt his skills, Teacha and his friends frequent the weekly gang talent show at the Coney Amusement Park on the outskirts of Kingston. Undeterred by the weekly failure to impress the talent show audience, Teacha decided to own his skills and concentrate on winning over his own community of Waterford until he was ready for bigger things. With that goal in mind, on weekends he would practice on the neighborhood sound systems Soul Signal and Electric Force. In 1993, Teacha recorded his first single, Love Fat Woman.
How long have you been in the business now?
Years, big man. We in the business for a long time, Yeah, but professionally, you have to say like 9 years,
Yeah. Like the success that you have now that you're achieving now, would you say it was a very hard road to get there, or you always knew that you would have got there at some point?
Well, both questions is the correct answer, You know what I mean? Because we know we don't reach to the heights, but we know it was hard work, and it was and it still is. But the greatest thing about it is fun. You know what I mean? Because we're doing what we love, straight up.
His first single was released for Alvin Reed's One Heart label under the name Adi Banton, a name he chose in tribute to one of his many role models, Buju Banton. He recorded several more tracks for local producers, perfecting his craft. In 1996, he and 2 friends, Mr. Lee and a singer called Escobar, decided to form a group one night after watching a movie about Pablo Escobar and his infamous cartel. Teacha came up with the name for his group, Vybz Kartel.
It was 3 of us in a group, you know what I mean? And at the time, people were naming themselves like Crews. Okay. So we just wanted to be different. So we just seek out a name that was different, but it had the same meaning. Yes. You know what I mean? Because cartel mean a group of persons who really come together to control competition, you know what I mean? Control prices and limit competition, and that's what we were doing in Portmore as a crew. So, you know what I mean? The Vybz Kartel really came about from watching a cartel movie, and we just liked the name, and we just used it.
Soon after, Vybz Kartel became the protege of Bounty Killer, another legend in dancehall history. He acted first as a ghostwriter for Bounty Killer, Elephant Man, and other members of the Scare Them crew.
Alliance, the name Alliance would mean a group of people or a group of friends. But since we're all artists, it's like super friends, you know what I mean? But Alliance is nothing but good, you know what I mean?
In 2002, Kartel broke out as an artist with an unprecedented run of hits, which led him to be crowned DJ of the Year at Stone Love's 30th anniversary. He followed up commercially, coming into his own with the release of his 2003 debut album, Up to the Time. In 2005, Kartel and Bounty had a falling out, which remains a cause of tension until this day. On his own, Kartel started his own label, Portmore Empire, which had become the home of a number of new artists, including Spice, Gaza Kim, Black Rhino, Sean Storm, Lisa Ipe, Ja Vinci, Popcorn, Gaza Indu, Sheba, Gaza Slim, amongst many others. When Kartel appeared on the scene with a slightly lighter skin tone, criticism came down on him after he mentioned washing his face with cake soap. That claim caused the manufacturer of the popular Blue Bomber soap to put out a statement saying that Vybz Kartel's claims are absolutely false.
Yes, feel wow.
The statement said, quote, "Blue soap does not bleach. It has no ingredients in it that damages the skin. If anybody is saying that it discolors the skin or take off pigmentation, that is absolutely not true." End quote. The song Cake Soap sparked extensive discussions and debates surrounding colorism, skin bleaching, and the impact of musical lyrics on societal attitudes. On the issue of his skin bleaching, Kartel said in an interview, quote, "My skin alteration has nothing to do with self-hate. Bleaching today doesn't mean the same thing as it meant 20 years ago. Black people are a proud race that can do what they want. Bleaching now is just a style. I bask in its controversy with cake soap as my suntan." End quote. The success of Vybz Kartel's career has met with several headlining controversies, including physical confrontation with other artists, lyrical feud that caused national debates, and an arrest for charges of more than one murder. Following an arrest in September 2011, Jamaica's Major Investigation Task Force MIT charged the controversial superstar with murder, conspiracy to murder, and illegal possession of a firearm. Police charged that on July 11, 2011, Kartel along with other men conspired to murder Barrington Boosie Burton, a 27-year-old businessman and music promoter based in Kingston. Barrington was murdered while standing with friends along Walker's Avenue in the Gregory Park area of Portmore. The dancehall artist was granted $3 million bail in the Jamaican Supreme Court. Although he was granted bail, Kartel was not released from prison as he was currently facing another murder charge. On December 1st, 2011, Vybz Kartel was acquitted of the murder of Barrington Boosie Burton. Both of the dancehall stars' co-defendants were also cleared after 2 witness statements were not admissible by the Supreme Court judge. The 12-person jury acquitted Kartel and 2 others. Kartel remained incarcerated awaiting the murder trial of Clive Lizard Williams. Prosecutors said that Clive Williams was murdered at Kartel's home over 2 guns that Williams and another man had lost. After a 64-day trial in Kingston, one of the longest in Jamaica's history, Adidja Azeem Palmer, aka Vybz Kartel, was convicted of the murder of Clive Williams in 2014. He was sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum of 35 years, later reduced on appeal to 33.5 years. Also convicted were his associates, Sean Campbell, aka Sean Storm, Kahera Jones, and Andre St. John. The 4th associate, Shane Williams, received the sole not guilty verdict. The prosecution relied heavily on evidence derived from cell phones, which were taken from a copy of a CD-ROM provided by Digicel in response to a police request. During the trial, it was also said that the judge became aware of an allegation that a juror had attempted to bribe other jurors by offering $500,000 for a particular outcome. After investigating the allegations and considering it with the counsel for both the prosecution and the defendant, the judge decided that the trial should proceed. Serving his life sentence, it was reported that Vybz Kartel had Graves' disease and needed medical treatment immediately. According to reports, Kartel's cell lacks proper air circulation, water, and basic amenities. He is provided only with a bucket as a toilet.
Because I was sick for a few years, So definitely I'm recovering physically, but mentally I've always been in a good place because I know I'm innocent and I know I'm coming out.
Do you really believe that?
Yeah, of course I believe that. And to be totally honest, the system really wanted me thrown away. It was never about me being charged for a murder. It was about getting rid of Vybz Kartel, not Teacha, the person. They say we have too much influence. If you remember when Movado and I had that little feud a few years ago, we even went to King's house, which is like the home of the Prime Minister. And they were telling us that, oh, we're leading the kids astray, and if we don't stop what we're doing, we're not going to get any permission to do shows and stuff like that. So it has always been about the influence that Vybz Kartel has. I'm more mentally in a better place because I read a lot, I write a lot, you know, I watch movies, I listen to music, and I've met people here that are cool, like cool people that we can talk about stuff, you know, good friends along the way. So that's how I spent my time. Basically just thinking about going home now because everything is drawing to a close, so I'm not really worried about my health as much. I'm doing much better, you know, so it's all good.
Now, as his final appeals court hearing is in deliberation, if unsuccessful, 48-year-old Kartel must serve 32 years and 6 months before parole eligibility. A convicted murderer spending over 10 years in prison. A Jamaican musical genius. A record producer. An entrepreneur. A dancehall performer. A father, a grandfather, a husband. Amongst his various nicknames, he is referred to as World Boss, added the Teacha, and has been recognized as one of the genre's most prolific and skilled lyricists.